alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today, joined by a wonderful group of cybersecurity leaders across the industries. In today's session, we're going to tackle the holistic approach to cybersecurity implementation. Our aim is to provide you with actionable and practical approach to implement a holistic cybersecurity capability and a program within your organization. Please join me to welcoming to the stage Ibrahim Al-Salbi, Senior VP and Manager of Information Security at Riyadh Bank. Mohammed Alharithy, Director of Cybersecurity, Business Development at Salam. Mohammed Ismail, VP of Sales for Meta Region at Delinea. And Ammar Afani, Regional Sales Manager of Meta Region at FireMon. Thank you. Please have a seat. Before we start, just to give you some context, I'd like to start with a short round of introductions to our dear panelists, starting with you, Ibrahim.
Ibrahim Al-Salbi, Managing Cybersecurity Department at Riyadh Bank, one of the largest banks in Saudi Arabia. Over 10 years experience in different domains in cybersecurity, and it's a pleasure for me to be with you here today.
My name is Ammar Afani. I'm Sales Director of FireMon for the Middle East and Turkey. Almost 15 years in the cybersecurity experience between Blue Coat Systems, Cisco Cybersecurity, BMC, and now with FireMon. So a pleasure to be here with everybody.
Mohammed Ismail. I'm the VP for Delinea in Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. I look after the business operation for Delinea in the region. I've been doing cybersecurity since 2002. I have worked in different parts of cybersecurity across different regions, and also pleasure to be here with you and share some thoughts about the topics that we'll be discussing.
Mohammed Alharithy, Managing Cybersecurity Products Development and Management at Salam Telecom. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Just an introduction to the point of discussion we're going to tackle. As maybe all of you are aware, the MENA region is being one of the most regions that are targeted by cyber attacks, and it's being noticed with the growing number of tactics, threat landscapes, and targeted campaigns and attacks. On the positive note, that we noticed, although that these attacks are increasing, even cybersecurity spending by organizations in the MENA region have started to increase as well. One of the recent reports have forecasted the growth of cybersecurity market, and we are talking products, technology, and services in the MENA region. It's forecasted to increase from around 22 billion of this year to around 36 billion by 2028. And this is a massive growth and potentials for the cybersecurity in the region. The panel today will discuss the holistic approach to cybersecurity, and we will highlight some key challenges and key trends and how we can navigate those challenges. Now, when we mention holistic approach, we are talking way beyond technology. We are talking in processes, technology, landscape, and culture. And culture is usually the most challenging one to achieve. So we're going to start basically on culture, and I'll start with you, Ibrahim, on what steps organizations can take to promote and cultivate a cyber-aware culture.
Changing any organization culture is a complex process, but it's not impossible. The same thing for the cybersecurity. To have a positive cybersecurity culture of awareness and accountability, it should be driven by the organization leader. Organization leader, they should indicate to all the employees that cybersecurity risk is the top priorities, and they should promote the discussions regarding the cybersecurity topic, the challenging, the risk. They should also have oversight of the cybersecurity performance matrix. In addition, also, cybersecurity leader in the organization, they should ensure that cybersecurity strategy is aligned with the business objective. They should identify the risk related to this objective. And also, they should communicate these risk to different stakeholders in a business term. Also, another element of the culture is to ensure that enterprise-wide of cybersecurity role and responsibilities established. All stakeholders identify. They are aware of their responsibilities, and they should know exactly what kind of domain or topic under their responsibility to implement. Awareness and communication, it is a critical element for cybersecurity culture. Cybersecurity leaders, they should utilize different channels to promote the cybersecurity behavior, and also they should ensure more from accountability, and also if there is a way to add it as part of the performance management. The last element, I think they should continue to invest in the cybersecurity technology and also in the cybersecurity skills workforce. So I think this is the main point for to promote the cybersecurity culture.
Thank you so much. All very on point, touching from strategy to reporting, awareness, and various performance measures. Moving now to Mohammed Alharithy. From your perspective, what are the recent cybersecurity trends, if you can share a few? And we noticed in the past few years that zero trust was kind of the buzzword as a trend. So I want also to see your perspective if we achieved that from implementation point of view.
Nice, thank you. So there are a lot of recent trends and catchy words, buzzwords, but I do see new trends that opening a new avenue of attacks to technology and infrastructure. One of the major trends is the IoT, with the tremendous number of new devices added daily to the network. We see a huge challenge with new attacking surface. Someone might recruit a huge amount of devices that built with default configuration, default passwords, to recruit it for kind of DDoS attack or other attacks. So this is one of the major trends that recently we witnessed. And another thing is the remote work, where we witnessed the era before remote work and after remote work. And so now cybersecurity leaders have to take care and protect and harden the infrastructure, the enterprise devices, and also the remote devices, which could be supposed to be under cybersecurity control. If they are connected to your enterprise, you must take care of them. More into cloud trend, and more of business are moving and migrating to cloud to utilize the utilization and optimization of both CapEx and OpEx optimization. And for second part of your question, which is related to zero trust, it used to be a buzzword, and it is a very hot topic, which advocates the code saying never trust, always verify, which is a very good concept, but yet it's not widely used. It's a hot topic, but not widely spread in practice, as it has several challenges and barriers to build and adopt. However, many misconceptions around this topic as a trendy or buzzword is a lot of people think of it as a solution or product that you can switch it on and get your environment fully adapted with zero trust, which is not the reality. And in reality, it is more of a strategy that has a long journey of changes with, let's say, architecture design, as well as the policies, procedures, and eventually the whole culture of the organization. So this is one thing. The other thing is not a free size for all. So you need to evaluate it and to employ it in the way that serves your business and organization. This is generally about the zero trust.
Thank you, Mohammed. You touched on an interesting point on a cloud, which we were going to come for elaboration later. But Mohammed Ismail, can you elaborate more on your perspective on zero trust implementation and the best practice around it?
Yeah, just to add to the topic, zero trust is a framework. It's kind of a methodology, a strategy. But I think there are few technical controls can be a good starter for organizations to look at in their implementation. One of them is identity verification. I think it's very important for organizations to keep identifying who is accessing what at all the time. So there is no granted trust, so it's always you are verifying. Also, within that framework, it's a very good point to look at a least privileged type of access. So just to grant access for people who need it, just in time, just enough to do the job that they need to do. So this could be something that is a very important starter for a zero trust methodology approach or implementation. A couple of things quickly that I will look at also. Away from accessing a network or resources, looking also at the data security, also accessing data, not only a resource, not a grant access just because somebody had access for a server or for a network, that they can actually see the data. The last thing that I would also recommend organizations to look at is the concept of micro-segmentation, where you can divide your network into small segments and then also ask for verification and access for those, and this can stop some of the lateral movement that can happen based on certain attacks.
Thank you so much. I think the main misconception we wanted to clarify, it's not a technology that we plug and play. It's way more than that, as the team have mentioned. Moving to you, Ammar, can you tell us more on how to maximize the use of offensive security to increase the security of the organization and the cyber resilience? Yani, we hear a lot of different functions, pen testing, red team, blue team. What's your take on that?
Yeah, so the good thing here, if we're talking about, everybody's talking about related things, right? So cybersecurity is one main focus for everybody nowadays, because we all know that the more we try to secure the environment, the more the hackers will evolve, and so many things, it will never stop, right? So we need to make sure to minimize the risk. How we do that? We need to be ready before they attack, right? So we need to make sure that we have a team of ethical hackers, making sure that they are doing penetration testing, assigning different teams. We call them blue team, which they have to do always monitoring and have visibility and control on the network, and making sure that anything happens in real time, reported back, so we can avoid any kind of risk. At the same time, there should be a red team, which the red team, basically, let's call them kind of IT audit, to make sure that everything's implemented from an IT perspective and monitoring and done. So it's very important to have those kind of teams to be ready for the attack before the attack came in, right? This is very important. And it's very important also to look at compliance, right? So from an organizational perspective, the architectural approach of the cybersecurity to close the gap between every single, to minimize the risk, every single aspect from a cybersecurity perspective, it's very important. So we need to make sure at the end that we are ready for any attack ahead of time. So this is very important. So we minimize the risk. Nothing 100% secure, we know that, but we need to minimize the risk and have the control. So visibility, control, being ready ahead of time, it's very important.
Thank you so much. I think this, the visibility aspect brings us to the next question, which is the main component of cyber resilience, which is the monitoring capability. So basically, I'll hand it over to you, Ibrahim. I'd like to share your insight on how the future of SOC, or Security Operations Center, will look like, and how we can leverage latest technologies to increase resilience.
Sure. So let me answer these questions in two parts. The first part, we have to understand today the current challenge with the Security Operations Center. The more logs, does that mean that more security? It could hinder the analyst to analyze or identify or work in the real cybersecurity incident. So today there are, I would say, there are three challenges for Security Operations Center. The rapid development of the technology, different technology, cloud, machine learning, AI, also technology. This is also could impact the Security Operations Center. Also, another challenge today is the talent, the shortage in the talent and the workforce. The the third challenge is the integration, the process with the other business processes in the organization. This is all a three challenge that Security Operations Center are facing today. In order to overcome these challenges, I think security leader, they should look to wider utilize or identify the opportunity where they can utilize security technology that is driven by AI, machine learning, and also increase the automation and deductions using SOAR technology. Also, I can see there is a hyper model where they can we can see manage EDR, MDR, manage detection and response services through service provider, all full MSSP to overcome regarding the skills or shortage of their skills in the market. Another part is the cyber resilience. Cyber resilience is the ability for the organization to handle the cybersecurity incident in an efficient way that is ensure that they have utilizing the best technology, they have efficient process. Also the testing, as mentioned by Ammar, the testing, the collaborations of different teams within the cybersecurity, automate the testing, identify the weaknesses. Also, the last point is the alignment with the business continuity and disaster recovery teams. This is a critical point. If cybersecurity should be part of the process, the testing of the cybersecurity should be part of overall business continuity process in the organization. I think this is a few points can help the organization to have more cybersecurity resilience capability.
Thank you so much. That was very insightful. And you touched also on relying also on partners or third-party providers, which take us to the other segment. So when we talk about holistic approach, beyond even processes and culture, we are looking into supply chain and third party. So we're going back to you, Mohammed Alharithy. With increased adoption of cloud services, be it hybrid approach or multi-cloud strategies, how organizations should strategize to ensure visibility on assets they host on the cloud?
Nice. So to me, cloud adoption and cloud management is always linked to supply chain risk. So we need to apply all the cybersecurity controls and practices related to third-party management by starting with the due diligence before contract, by starting with the compliance with regulations in regard of whether it is domestic cloud or and other presence over the globe. So this is one thing, and starting by the basic to clarify and crystallize, make sure to crystallize the responsibility of security between you and your cloud provider. Eventually, you're going to apply all kind of cybersecurity in on that environment, which you don't physically secure it. So it's your environment somewhere on the cloud. So you need to at least apply all security controls in regard to the identity and access management, in regard to encryption, for mitigating any impact of data leakage. If it is encrypted, that could be your safety net to rely on. So this is basically applying the identity and access management, including the least privilege concept. And eventually, if you could go to higher level of maturity by applying sort of visibility over your environment there, by applying sort of CASB or secure posture concepts to know that, okay, you're outsourcing the operational and fatigue operational task to your cloud provider, but you don't open it widely to them. You also have your visibility over them, and you can be at the end of your enterprise controlling and managing your vendor.
Thank you, Mohammed. Now to you, Mohammed Ismail, coming from the security industry, what can you share about the practical approach that customer organizations can do to ensure that they have proper risk management practice, but at the same time it does not hinder procurement and contracting practices?
I think this is a very important topic for organizations lately, especially that a lot of attacks have been happening on the supply chain. And this is something that growing in terms of how organizations deal with third party. I think there is something that organizations can learn from other industries as well. And I'll give you an example. I started my career in oil and gas. And in oil and gas, for example, when companies the likes of Aramco or similar try to work with third-party vendors or suppliers for their core, even for oil drilling or whatever, one of the most important aspects in evaluation is their HSE records, which is the health, safety, and environment records. And this is something that they keep very seriously and invest a lot. And I think now we are moving into learning from that, where when organizations deal with third-party suppliers, their cybersecurity records becomes very important, and this is something that will keep growing. So I will look at this in two different areas. One is a pre-agreement, I would say. That's when you talk about your due diligence, your discussion with your third-party vendors on their abilities, on how they do certain processes, how they handle their data, and how you govern your relationship in terms of contractual agreements. This is very important to look at from a pre-agreement. Post-agreement, there are things that can be also enforced from a technical perspective. One of the things that we talked about earlier is the identity verification, continuous identity verification. Who is accessing what and for what reason? And then the granting access based on need, not an open access, and based on also timely manner. On top of that, you need to have a continuous audit and monitoring. That's one thing. The other thing is you need to establish an incident response practice, because we know it doesn't matter what kind of technical controls you put in place. Incidents will happen, right? And you have to establish an agreement in case of an incident. What is the responsibility of each party, and what is the process that will take place? One very important topic also to discuss with third-party supplier, how they deal with data retention. Also, what kind of data they access, where do they keep it, and if they keep it, how do they protect it? I think if you look at it pre and post, you can kind of balance the need for dealing with third parties, keeping your security in control, keeping your company's risk minimized. And that is a growing need. I think even in the region now, I have started to see security questionnaires being sent to third-party suppliers, where you have to answer a lot of questions. Also, us as a vendor, when we deal with many of the large system integrators or many of the large companies, they actually ask us, because we provide the cloud services as well, and we sometimes take some private data from organizations. So we have to answer security questionnaires on how we deal with data and how we deal with third-party information.
Thank you so much. Very insightful and very practical also to adapt. And I think you mentioned a very good point on data retention as well, so that we need to consider it across the data life cycle, whatever we entrust to the third party, as well as how they manage it throughout the process up until the end of the relationship with the third party vendor. Now we're going to go to the last question, or the before last, with you, Ammar. Now we noticed, especially in the MENA region and especially as well in Saudi Arabia, we see increased emergence of regulations related to cybersecurity, data protection, privacy, sovereignty. What would be an advice for organizations to expedite their compliance with such regulation?
Great. So the first thing I want to say, thanks for everybody here on the panel, because we're gaining experience from each other, and it's great information. So one thing that we all share, and I've heard it from different team in the panel, is regulatories and audit and compliance. So majority now, as you said, Wesam, of the organizations now, or the government entities, they're going where the telcos have their own regulatories, government has their regulatories. We need to make sure that all organizations are in compliance actually, because that will let us avoid the fines, let us avoid any risk violations that happen on the network. So again, going back to cyber resilience, that you're already ahead. So, and I like to share with everybody in this room, I'm sure many knows about it, but for those who doesn't know, As per Gartner, 99% of the breaches that happen on the firewalls from security perspective is because of the misconfiguration, not because of the firewall itself. So organization now, they're moving to digital transformation, cloud adoption, and they're trying to increase the number of, let's say, firewalls or cybersecurity environment from network devices and more. But we're not looking at the compliance. We're not looking much at what's happening, what's causing the breach. So compliance, adapt with the regulatories, making sure that moving with the same, every country, different regulatories, that will basically give us the upper hand to be ready again for any attack or risk violation and act immediately. And that will save our environments, will save time, and will make sure we're secure.
Thank you so much. So internal reviews, and so this has come to the same point. So not adopting the technology. So placing a firewall does not make you compliant, but actually have the right processes around how to configure it, how to review it, how to audit it will make you more proactive and more compliant. Now, before we end the panel, I'd like maybe to have the panelists, all of them, answer one question. Can you share one key advice that you want the audience to take as takeaway for them to increase their security maturity? I'll start with you, Ibrahim.
From my point of view, we should not wait, or cybersecurity leader in each organization should not wait for cybersecurity breaches in order to build a strong cybersecurity culture. Hacker or attacker, threat actor, they are not waiting. They are taking the advantage of the current or the advanced technology. They are taking the chance of the emerging technology, and they are taking advantage of every step they are moving. So we should not wait for security breach in order to build cybersecurity, strong cybersecurity culture.
Yes, it's the main subject that really should be developed, that organizations should spend or dedicate budgets for awareness, for education of the team, because we all agree that some of the major attacks come from within the organization, right? So, and hackers from outside, they try to make use of that. So for uneducated cybersecurity team members, that they can be the reason for them internally to get penetrated, right? So awareness is very important. Education, continuous education, knowledge transfer programs every month, every 2 months, depends on the organization, of course. But to make sure that all the internal team members are ready to, it should be always continuous, by the way, because as we just said at the beginning, hackers are evolving, so we need to make sure that the awareness is happening and refreshing it every now and then.
Thank you. Mohammed?
Well, as we all know, we are in the business of risk management and reduction, and again, learning from other industries. I think one of the topics that organizations started to look at in terms of the way they manage risk is to outsource risks. So one of the areas that organizations could look at to really manage their risk is cyber security insurance, which is a trending topic that I think many organizations will start exploring. I have been also asked about it from different organizations in the region, so it's a new topic, but I think it's something to consider, part of the risk assessment, whether some of that risk can be outsourced to third parties as part of the cyber insurance policy.
Very insightful. Thank you. Mohammed?
To me, the most important for leaders is to build their cybersecurity program on risk-based. So once they need, or once an advisor recommends some solution or some strategy for them, they should ask for the base of their estimate. They should ask for a justification, and they should make sure that they map it to their strategy, and eventually they map it with the business strategy. After all, our mission as cyber leaders is to enable business, to make it more robust, and to make sure that business is facilitated, protected, and resilient. Risk-based cybersecurity strategy is the most important for leaders. Thank you.
Thank you so much for our panelists for you sharing your key insights. If maybe I can recap or summarize the main takeaways or the main call to actions, I think from all of the answers that got maybe spread across the questions, the common theme is awareness and collaboration. I think cybersecurity has now evolved from a cybersecurity team or technology team to be a matter that comes top down from the board of directors up until to every employee in the organization. So maybe awareness and investment on that part is very crucial. Other part is the collaboration, which is between organizations to share lessons learned, success stories, and prevent cyber attacks from basically expanded to the same organizations. And also for the compliance perspective is collaboration between public and private sectors to ensure that we keep the regulators aware of the business requirement, business needs, and also to ensure that we are aware of how to comply faster. Thank you again for your insights and for your time today, and thank you to the audience for your insights and listening to us, and hope you enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.